when the end comes. This shelter is hidden 888 meters underground. It's absolutely divine. Even if bombarded by intercontinental missiles, it doesn't affect life in isolation at all. The shelter doesn't just have homemade underfloor heating. There are also handmade pumps, while addressing basic living conditions. And practiced at the shelter. 2.5 years of Kunken. Just live a picturesque life. His wife's name is Ruhua. The bride price is only 88,000 to have a home in the future. If you don't agree, go to. Well, you know what I mean. When the end comes. A secret fortress hidden about 800 meters underground. The safety performance is the highest. I worked hard for 2.5 years. Just to design a set. The security performance is comparable to the presidential version of the underground shelter group under the tutelage of Schwarzenegger. This pair of heaven-defying unicorn arms also came in handy. Solid as a rock, the soil of the stone failed miserably under the arm of the unicorn. Can only be obediently dug into sand. Thrown it easily. Under the fierce action of the thin monkey. The commoner club dug out a plentiful space. And we started polishing the interior. Then the hemp rope is tied to the wooden stick. Outline the round table. Then the excess is finely polished. Despite the fact that the round table is made of mud in one piece. This table is like moldy cheese. Smelly and hard. Even if it takes hundreds of years, it will not be a problem, considering that the depth of the shelter reaches 888 meters. Very inconvenient to enter and exit, so I found two after-sales. The 888-meter-long Qingshan white jade pillar, Hajia Heizi refined grain. The plan is to build a mining track for the shelter. I saw him insert the stake deep into the ground and extend out in the direction of the hole until you go through the whole cave. Then the sunny white jade pillar, Zihai Zijin grain, place on a stake, nail in the joint. Make sure the track doesn't deviate at all. Then, according to the scale of the orbit, make a wooden frame so as to achieve the general effect of lubricating oil. Slide effect. I have to. In terms of craftsmanship, Lupin has to avoid its edge. And we put a wooden box on top of it. Speed of moving soil. Instantly raised several levels. Not long. The interior of the shelter has already taken shape. To improve the quality of life. It's more comfortable to live in. We also need to create a luxurious double bed. The earth deep down is very strong. There is no risk of collapse at all. Show for subsequent convenience heating. The design of the bed is inspired by the northeast soil com, more ergonomic. And don't forget to carve out the avoided publication at the bedside. It is convenient to pray to God at any time. Don't look at the monkeys with developed limbs. The mind is not simple at all. Every place where details are not easily observed. He is meticulously crafted. Lay out the candles. In an instant, the entire bedroom has been greatly improved. The beauty of underground shelters is that dreams are big. How big is the land? The area of the house depends entirely on it consumes half a steamed bun per square kilometer. Not only is there no mortgage problem, even the purpose after lying down can be shared. Then hollow out the wall in the middle. So you have a fireplace. To prevent carbon monoxide poisoning. The most important thing is the issue of smoke exhaust. to get through a mountain of several hundred meters from the top down. It's an incredibly difficult thing to do. Fortunately, Shaw was moving mountains when he was young. He has studied into major schools. This impresses the technology, not the hand pinch. Then continue to dig at the bottom of the fireplace. The position of the stove hole is opened up, and make a stove stand for the pot. After completion, elaborately sculpt the position under the fireplace from the side. Finely polished. Make a channel. This is connected to the location of the con head. After all, such a wine-style treasure was selected. If the warm effect is not arranged properly, old cold legs can be accompanied for life. Carve grooves on the con. To facilitate the installation of ground balloon pipes, the ability to transmit temperature to every corner. Next, you can the length of these grooves. Cut out the same long beard. Cut holes in the bamboo tubes that connect to each other. Finally, open the inside of the bamboo tube. The effect of facilitating temperature transfer does not fade. Then install the floor heating pipes into the groove in sequence. Under his meticulous craftsmanship, each pipe is just set in. Before laying the bed, first, plug the air outlet with a cork. Prevent soil from falling into pipes. Affect the thermal conductivity of the pipeline. Soil is a very good material for conducting heat. Even if you only wear pants, you won't catch a cold at all. After laying the pipes on the bed surface, you can carefully pull the cork out. Finally, put the wall tube. The dowel is also covered with clay, until the entire wall is restored to its original state. Then to test the availability of floor heating, he hooked up the stove fire. Temperature is quickly transmitted from the pipe to the bed surface. As the firepower gradually increases, the heating in the small hole gradually comes out. This also means that the floor heating can be used normally. Then the skinny monkey came outside the house. Divide the remaining bamboo tube into two. Cut into 3 in 2. And you get a bunch of bamboo sticks. And tie them together with twine. Could have made a living by relying on talent, but it has to use those 8 angular ABS. Conquer the eyes of the crowd. Let me ask you something. Which fair lady cannot be moved? Lay out a purely handmade mat. And plump buttocks. Experience the fruits of hard work. Ouch, my parents are so hot. Subsequently, the skinny monkey who has been busy all day comes to hang out in the wild. Okay, coincidentally, I met a good old thunder-throwing thing. Quake the wood into 2 pieces immediately. I took off the 2 intact stakes and brought them back. It's long, and this one just fits the round table. Take out another slightly shorter stake. Start chiseling grooves in the middle. And insert the stick to make it tight. Connect it so you get a silly wooden hammer. Friends who have built their own houses know it. The ground hummed like this. Soil particles are tighter. Improved overall strength and bearing capacity. Not only hard and wear resistant, it also absorbs and releases water. Helps regulate indoor humidity. Don't worry about slipping on the soreness of your feet. The skinny monkey who has been busy all day is already hungry. Take out the wild turtle dove. Prepare to replenish strength. Come to the stream. Ginseng for little turtle dove wonderland. Put in wolfberry. Maca red dates. Liu Wong pills. Finally, add the rosemary. Return to the shelter. Put it on the fireplace and simmer slowly. 45 minutes later, a delicious medicated meal is out of the oven. Turn on the pressure cooker, and the aroma came. The meat of turtle dove is delicate, soft and tender taste after stewing. Melt in your mouth. With traditional Chinese medicine wolfberry, maca, etc. have the effect of invigorating the kidney and strengthening young. He is full of wine and food. We have to deal with hygiene. And then they re-excavated a room next to it. I plan to turn this place into a place to bathe and change clothes, to prevent the bathroom from collapsing. And then you arc the top. After digging out the rough prototype, the dirt next to it has piled up into a hill. In order to clean up the soil more conveniently, added a turn to the previous track, all the way to the innermost part next to the hill. With the help of a minicart, this soil can also be easily transported out. Pretty soon, he's hauling out tons of dirt. In order to facilitate a beautiful mandarin duck bath in the bathroom, he decided to hollow out the bottom completely. Such a big bathtub. Look. It's not a problem at all to ask to people not to eat cilantro. After completion, he also carefully carved murals on the walls. Adds a special touch to the bath. Make the bathroom look more luxurious. Atmospheric grade. Then use Liang to shovel the barrel. A bamboo tube of similar size was found at the drain. Cutting U-turn. Thin plug. Installed in the bath drain. Use as a drain plug. Found some clay after sales. Used to replace waterproof wild cement. Then smear the bathroom inside and out. With this 500 gram Pocadia pebbles, decorate the pool. And when it's done, he's going to dig a well next to it. Drilling chicken, I've seen it. This is the first time I have encountered manual excavation. The excavation took 2.5 hours. Still no water. Unconvinced, he decided to dig further down. After 2 days and 2 nights of hard work, you can see it and sell it day by day. But the thought of the mansion you'll soon have. Marry by Fumai. To the pinnacle of life. He's transformed into a ruthless machine. Soon dug to a depth of 4.5 meters. Considering the time and effort required to go up and down the well, after coming up, I set a mother pile on the side. Then climb up and down the rope. As the excavation works proceed, finally dug the aorta of groundwater. The bottom has started to seep water. As expected of moving mountains, Crab Ridge to schools have learned it. You can dig a water source just once. It seems that this place is really a treasure trove of rheumatism. Then expand the wellhead position by 1 turn. Convenient installation of manhole covers because the beast monkey is addicted to digging soil and does not know it. Bad don't know. Yu Liang was startled. Only then did Liang know. The depth of the well has reached a full 50 meters. Come outside. Splice the planks together. Homemade compass. Plot the distance of the manhole cover. excision along the marker to access abdominal birth. He even thoughtfully made handles for manhole covers to get the water out of the 5-meter deep well. He was going to make an old-fashioned sump pump. I saw him saw the stump in half, then use a chisel to completely hollow out the inside. The other half is also like a cannon system to think. Successfully pumped water from a depth of 5 meters. Then we have to mention the principle of the ancient pumping pump, mainly based on atmospheric pressure and water pressure. The piston reciprocates in the cylinder block. When the piston is lifted, low pressure in the cylinder, water purification valve open, water is inhaled. When the piston is pressed down, water purification valve closed, outlet valve open. Water is drained. Next, start making accessories for the pump. And then I made a cork. Pinch into the pumping pipe and put holes in the middle of the cork. To increase the containment of Muse, Marquis Shuo had to sacrifice. Nike has been following itself for 10 years. Cut out the same size rubber as the cork. Secure it with wooden nails. Make it densely ventilated. Snap the sealing ring into the cork. Pass it through with a wooden stick in the middle as a handle. And he goes and gets some wild gum. Put it in a bamboo dry pan. Then it is sent to the fireplace to be heated and melted. Smear on cork. Increase service life and sealing. The bamboo tube has been assembled into the well. You can use the red gap principle to pump the water up. Preparations are done. You can put the manhole cover on it. Cover the manhole with soil. And then he hammers it. So you don't have to worrying about losing sight of the manhole cover to avoid accidents. Then find the isinglass extracted from the fish table. Smear it on the splicing of steel. It can be combined into one. Then connect to the water inlet of the bathtub. Apply glue to each interface to seal it well. Avoid later water leakage problems. Then install the piston. Use a stake as a force chuck. The principle of leverage is perfected by monkeys. And you can do that now. According to the principle of air pressure, wash the well water up. After 2.5 hours of non-stop exercise, the huge bathtub has finally been filled. Excited heart, shaking hands. Busy for a few days. The results are in front of you. Shuo Wo excitedly washed his face. The next step is to address the issue of wastewater discharge. Dig a groove in the ground, all the way through to the outside of the shelter. Point the bamboo tube at the inlet and outlet. Seal with glue. For beauty, the water outlet pipes are hidden from the outside to the inside. The shelter has been built. The next step is to have sustainable, developing food sources. He started by digging a row of holes in the ground on either side of the bathroom, then punched 16 holes in each bamboo tube. This is a site that's supposed to grow food. Before that, the bamboo tubes also need to be sterilized and disinfected with a large fire. Avoid the pests that come with the bamboo tube and destroy the plants. Take advantage of your free time. He went to carry a sack of nutrient soil. Cover it with banana leaves first. Covered with a thick layer of clay. Pattern temperature. With the heat of the flame, thoroughly stimulate the activity of nutrient soil. Time came the next day. The flame goes out. Residual temperature remains on the surface. Stuff the nutrient soil into the bamboo tube. Here we go. You can fill the bamboo tube with the nutrition bucket. Insert a pre-dug hole. Finally, the seeds are stuffed into the bamboo tube. Depends on the humidity in the bathroom and the temperature of the fireplace. The effect of greenhouse planting can be achieved. All I can do now is wait for it to germinate. To improve the quality of life, use a carving knife to recreate the appearance of red bricks on the wall. Lime water soaking. Brush with bamboo. Paint the gaps in the wall tiles. Then the ceiling is decorated with main boards. Installation of wooden keel on the ceiling as a support structure for the main board. The keel spacing should be even. Ensure load-bearing balance. Start from one end. Fix the main board to the keel one by one. Secure with nails. Make sure each main board is strong and flat. Pay attention to the texture direction of the main board. Maintain the overall appearance. Check the flatness of the main board at any time, and the tightness of the seam. Make sure the whole effect coordination. The exhaust port can't be sloppy either. Bamboo strips of the same length, arranged around the exhaust. Weave it back and forth with thin bamboo strips. Gather some dry grass for backup. Pour the soil into the 82-year-old mountain spring water. Stir with a 45-yard large angle at the same time. You add the withered grass. 90 to concrete made like this. It's very sticky. Spread evenly on the shallots. He didn't forget to give the onion the whole look. Then came to the Wildland Independent Wholesale Base. Crazy for the gifts of nature. Transplant the land to the chimney. And finally, cover the shallots. The force has instantly increased by more than one level. It is very necessary to install gates in the field. Not only can it resist the invasion of wild animals, it can also have a strong fullness effect. A sturdy door, able to give users, brings psychological comfort and security. Helps reduce psychological stress in the wild. Slate in front of the gate. Fill the clearing with turf. So far, the construction of the shelter has come to a perfect conclusion.